Hi, everybody. Karen Roby here with Brandon and Villarolo with Tech Republic, and we're talking today about the Apple Watch Series 5. So, Brandon, they rolled this out, of course, at their big event. And what are your initial thoughts on this in terms of the capabilities and some of the new features?
The three big new features that Apple talked about during the announcement was the fact that the screen is now always on. So even tipping your wrist down won't turn the screen off. It just dims it and puts it into a sort of standby mode where its refresh rate will drop to as low as 1 hertz. So that's one refresh a second. So that's designed to save battery. Apple said that that new screen, despite the fact that it's always on, won't consume any additional battery and will still get that 18-hour life that they say the Apple Watch is capable of. Second new feature, and this is a pretty good one for people who want to spend time outdoors or work outdoors, is a compass. Prior to the Series 5, the Apple Watch actually did not have any direction finding capabilities, and now it does, which can be seen on both in an app. It can be used in third-party apps via an API, and there's also widgets, or I'm sorry, complications for the home screen as well. Lastly, and this is kind of a secondary feature, but it's one of the ones that Apple pointed out, and it's pretty important for international travelers, is that now when you hold the crown down, it will automatically call emergency services no matter what country you're in. So before, it was only programmed for the US or whatever. Now, no matter where you are in the world, if you need to make an emergency call, your Apple Watch will connect to you, whether or not you have a cell phone. And that's obviously the cellular models only. Aside from that, Apple was pretty quiet about the specifics on this one. They talked about the three features, and they highlighted some of the health tracking capabilities and some of the studies they're doing. But that was pretty much it. Apple didn't make any mention of the specs on the device or anything. And there's a reason for that, and it's because there's really no big improvement aside from the main chip in the watch. It's pretty much the Series 4 with a few new features.
Yeah, well, and that would lead me, to my next thought or question here, Brandon, is do you feel like for professionals, is this something that they should go out and get, or is it one of those things you can wait till next year and with the next series?
Yeah, I mean, personally, so I still have a Series 3, which Apple's keeping on board as a $199 kind of entry option to the watch line. So great if you don't have one yet, you want to get a cheap one. But the Series 3 works great. The Series 5 doesn't really offer anything that makes it a must upgrade. I mean, if you work in the field a lot and you need a compass, great. If you're traveling internationally and you want to be able to, rest more easily knowing that you can get a hold of emergency services without a problem, then good. And if that always on screen is something that's going to really appeal to you, for easily glancing at time or seeing your appointments without having to tip your wrist up all the way or tap the screen, again, great. But these three features are nothing groundbreaking. They're nothing game changing. If one of those three doesn't really pique your fancy or get you excited, then there's really no reason to upgrade. This is not a new watch. It's just the Series 4 with a few additional features.
And they did, Brandon, talk or did tout a good bit the health benefits, though. With the video, of course, so much showing the different ways that the tracking with your heart, how has helped different people in different situations.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great health benefits to the watch. I mean, they added the EKG reader in Series 4, so now it both can track your heart rate and give you an electrocardiogram. And Apple did talk about how that has saved lives, and they're introducing some more health studies to kind of correlate sedentary lifestyles versus heart rate or sort of, energy expenditure. So there's all those great things going on. If you want the EKG that's only in the Series 4 and 5, you don't really need to get a 5 to get it. You could get a Series 4 for a little less money now, since the 5 is out, and still get that EKG benefit. So really, the Series 4 and 5 are the same in terms of their ability to track health. So again, no reason to go out and get the Series 5 just for the health benefits.
Yeah, definitely. And Brandon, do you feel like, I know the last time Apple at their event talking about how they're making the watch a little bit more autonomous, so you don't have to have your phone with you at all times. Do you feel like some of these changes, though, that show that they are moving more towards it being a standalone device?
Yeah, I do, and I really hope that they indicate more standalone features to come. Actually, CNET, our sister site, wrote an article about the Watch 5 in a preview kind of thing before the event, and mentioned that there is some code in iOS or in watchOS that indicates that it might be getting a standalone app store and some other features like that, where you can do things like download and install apps directly from the watch as opposed to needing a phone to do that. If you have a cellular version of the Apple Watch, which my Series 3 is, you're perfectly capable of using that as a regular device, provided you don't want to make a lot of phone calls or you don't have a Bluetooth headset. It makes it a lot more difficult. The speaker's not very loud, which the Series 4 and 5 have a louder speaker. So I think it's slowly becoming more standalone. But I think the two things that are really going to kill its ability to be truly standalone are sort of a lack of easy input methods. You can do speech to type and it works fairly well, but it's not convenient, especially in a crowded place, or if you're on the subway, you don't want to be talking to your watch like Dick Tracy. It's just kind of awkward. So that, and I think the battery life, 18 hours is what Apple says. I know for one that I wouldn't try to make my watch last 18 hours. Again, that might be due to the fact that Apple's reporting power statistics with minimal use. But in practicality, it's still not going to get enough battery life to really last you a full day of heavy use as opposed to a phone.
Yeah, definitely. 18 hours could be a stretch, Brandon. All right, before we let you go here, talk a little bit about price.
Yeah, the 5 Series is starting at $399, and that's for the entry level, just the basic 40 millimeter model without cellular, just GPS. And you're looking at $499 for a minimum for the cellular version as well. And of course, that's only for the aluminum case. If you want the titanium, the ceramic, or the stainless steel, you're going to be paying a lot more.
All right, and all that information, Brandon, you've got that for us on a cheat sheet that can be found on Tech Republic. Thanks for watching.